Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bridge by Fee. My name is Candace.
Nisha.
My name is Kayla.
Yes, yes, yes. And we are back. We are basically in between studios right now, so this is the way that we're gonna do it. In addition, little disclaimer, Kayla and I live in the same household, but we're in two separate rooms, so might be a little wonky with the audio, but it's all right because it's all about the content and it's all about what we are here to speak about and getting it out to you guys and just sharing. So we are in the year 2024. Woo! It's a new year. Big things are happening, things are being revealed, people are sharing a lot. People are not giving a fuck about nobody's feelings already in 2024. People are being exposed. It's a lot already. Um, But I just want to ask you ladies, how are you feeling in the new year? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling blessed? Are you feeling like, oh, I hope this is not another repeat of last year? Like, what are you guys feeling? Start with Kanisha. What are you feeling?
Well, I hope this is not presumptuous, but I do feel hopeful. And as you asked that question, I thought about your video, just your perspective on the new year and your outlook and how you feel. And just to give you guys a backdrop, Candace made a video on Instagram, and it was to me it was very like uplifting and just encouraging, just like what she foresees the new year is gonna bring. And I definitely align with that. I just feel like all of us, friends, family, well, prayerfully, everyone is on the path of elevation and just superseding and accomplishing goals that they've had on hold for some time. And just to backtrack that to me, or, turn it back to me, I would say I feel that way as well. Fingers crossed, because I'm like, there were things that I wanted to accomplish last year that I didn't get to do. And I'm really, really trying to like set my mind for the next 6 months to get it really done. you
Yeah.
know, um, okay, enough is enough. It's like, golly, it's like enough is enough. So I'm definitely feeling hopeful. I think hopeful is a word for me this year. And that's how I'm feeling, just like really going after what I've said that I wanted to do and have it done and really do it. So, how they say like don't count your eggs before it hatch kind of thing, or like move in silence and all that kind of stuff. But the goal is that you're actually moving. You can be silent, but are you moving and doing anything?
Yes. Yep.
You moving, whether silent or loudly, but doing something towards the goals that I had not accomplished last year, but hope to accomplish this year. So that's where I feel like my mindset is. And I feel like I'm beginning on a good note. Like I'm in the process of decluttering my apartment, one closet at a time.
Hmm.
The place is super chaotic. Thank God you guys are seeing this part, the backdrop. But I am purging this closet and I'm reading things as far as like how to really downsize and declutter, because how it's gonna just free and just lift loads off you that you didn't even see that was there or realize was there. Because the less you have to see visually, it would just transcend into other areas of your life. You have a lighter mentality, lighter spirit, lighter everything. So that's one of my goals as well, to have a light, airy environment in life in general. And beautiful, of course. So yeah, so that's where I'm at so far.
Yeah. What about you, Kayla?
That's so awesome. I just love what you said about the lighter spirit. I feel like this year I'm feeling so blessed and grateful and ready. I feel like this year is about me creating the foundation for the life that I want to have continuing on and really starting off um not even starting off in the climax, I feel like, of a journey that I've already been on, and one that I'm going to start seeing the rollout for. I feel like I'm on the top and I'm coming down, and it's gonna be such an interesting experience to come down from. I feel like last year I was watching our last year's podcast in prep for this, and shout out to 2023 New Year's resolution episode, because that was awesome. We did so good, and I just remember the space that I was in last year, and last year has been such a emotional regulation year for me, and really honing in on what that looks like and what that means. And this year is, with that foundation, going to be added on with reaping the benefits of all the work that I've put in. I feel like it's sort of this built up door. I was watching, do you know the Now You See Me movies about the magicians who have this whole, I was just binging those movies with like Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know why, but I love those. And they're about like the illusion and the unseen and all of that stuff. And it was fun to watch in the new year, as well as some John Wick movies about strength and will and persistence. I mean, if you watch those, it's like the first scene is he has an iron will, and he killed everyone in the bar with a singular pencil, so he can do anything. It's hilarious. But I watched those in the new year, and they definitely set a mood for me that I didn't even know was being set. And it brought me into thinking about eras. Now, I don't know how you guys feel when you listen to that word, but for me, in Gen Z and like the social media, um, I guess, comedy that we have and the vocabulary that we have, it's like we love a good era for no reason, to start and stop something, and assign it to a certain version of us or a certain identity. So there's like the villain era, when you like take back all your energy and um command the best for yourself no matter what that looks like and who you gotta cut off. I feel like that's very much an empowering thing, and all of the eras are
That
an
been my
empowering
whole
thing. Another
life.
example would be like, yes.
I've just been in the villain era forever.
You sounded like Cardi B just then.
What else is there?
It's like,
Chop. I've been chopping. I've been karate chopping motherfuckers for a long time. All right. What else?
I feel like it is a level of empowerment and like identity shifting that I feel like you're really good at, and can hone in on easily, even though maybe identity shifting wouldn't be the word because you're very set in your identity, but it's very much commanding, right? And what I feel for myself now, um, with these era shifts that I feel like happen a lot or we talk about a lot in this generation, for me, I feel like I'm entering this new era, this new phase of my life of commanding what's mine and what's been mine and what I've been working on and working for. And I just know that this year is going to bring just so much for me and for my family. And I'm just counting all of the blessings before they're even here. And I wanted to ask you guys how you feel about going through different phases in life, because with me and my journey, I feel completely and utterly grateful to myself for um, really every decision, every singular decision, every singular thought that I put towards who I am now, and what that looked like, where it would be like, reading something or thinking of myself a certain way, or just sort of putting puzzle pieces together. I feel like a large part of this generation is introspection. Um, because we are brought up in this very flawed world, and really all of the generations have been, but there is a fed up energy, and a
Yeah.
commanding energy that is being brought to the workplace. We see it just to everyone's lives. So I think that, um, you know, what do you feel grateful for in your phases of life? I feel grateful for myself and my decisions.
Mm,
So
I
what,
love
give
that.
us some example. What are some other names of phases that y'all say? So what, like villain era, and what other kind of eras do y'all say?
Well, it's so funny because I'll literally say it for anything. Like I know that
Like I'm in my bad
like for
bitch
me,
era. I'm in my
absolutely,
hustle
that's
era, bad
definitely one
bitch
of I'm
era.
in my
I'm
corporate
in my
baddie
get
era.
money era. I'm in the get the
Yeah,
bag era. I'm in oh, so all right.
yeah.
So it's anything. Okay.
It's anything. I'd be like, I'm in my coffee era, I'm in my Dunkin' era
Oh.
whenever I'm like talking about my coffee obsession. Like it's for anything, but it's a level of like I'd say it is ownership and empowerment of um like things that you're choosing to do or ways that you're choosing to show up for yourself or in a space. Could
Well,
really be anything.
I'm in my transitioning and achieving goals era, which is typically my era all the time. But as I was saying before, I feel like this year a lot of things are going to be really, a lot of the goals, or at least some of the goals that I have had in place for some time, are going to be coming into like fruition. And um, I'm in my take back my time era. I'm in my getting want to get back, well, taking back my time so that I can um get back into my creative element era. I'm in my free time era, trying to find that as much as I can, or fit it in, make time for free time, basically. Um, yeah, that's what I feel like I'm in right now.
Um, it's interesting that you guys touch upon error. And as you were speaking, Kayla, I'm just thinking about like, you know, as an adult or even before you get to this stage of life, well, not you personally, but just in general, humanity go through different phases and stages of life. You know, we were once a child, then we were adolescents, and then we're, teenagers, and then here we are in adulthood, like different phases of life and stages, right? And I definitely feel like through each phase, I feel like I'm grateful for underlying strength that I didn't know I possessed. And what I mean by that is like certain things you go through in life is like it literally takes mental strength to go through it. Like, like feel everything, the emotions, the struggles, the strife, the when you feel down, and then there are moments when you feel uplifted, but then you feel down again. It's like, whoa. So it takes a lot of mental strength to know that this too, I know it's like a cliche phase. I mean, cliche phrase, but it's really true. Like this too shall pass. It really, I mean, a day makes a difference. Like your life could turn around in literally a day, and you're like, what the heck? I was just going through turmoil yesterday, and today, just like, whoa, the sun is out, the birds are chirping, the clouds look brighter. So I'm just like grateful for strength, like strength that I didn't know I possess, and grateful for my faith, and grateful for friends that I have. I love the strength that your mom possessed, because I'm just like, when I look at how she's just like, oh, listen, nobody gonna take me down. I'm just like, you pull from people without them realizing, and take that on for yourself if you see that it applies to you, and make it your own in your own way. And I'm just like grateful for the strength that God has put around me and women that are just like, whoa, okay, if they have gone in it and through it, then so can I, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's definitely something I was thinking about.
I really love what you had to say about mental strength because I feel like I've been talking to my friends just a lot recently in the new year, and we're talking about how good we feel. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we're all feeling like this great energy coming up this year. And I think that that's shared. And I think that the viewers, you guys watching, I hope you share that with us because goodness is coming this year, the year of the dragon. And I think that energetically, we are going to be commanding our energy back, releasing things that no longer belong to us, cutting ties with people that do harm to us and send negativity to us, and building and that fortitude and that mental strength and implementing that into our daily lives. And I can't be any more grateful that I have this understanding of that and this application of that in my own life that I can see working and that I can see how that looks for me. And I feel like talking to my friends who we're all entering adulthood, and a lot of my friends during the springtime I'm super excited for. If you remember the last podcast, one of my main points that I brought up was about how we come up with these ideas of the new year and our new goals in the middle of winter and hibernation season and reflective season. And that was a strong bit for me last year because I really wanted to return to naturality and return to like being grounded. That was my whole thing last year. So following nature, right? And I still felt that way this year. I didn't really have any resolutions per se, but I will say that in my reflection and in my sort of excitement for this year, I'm so excited for springtime because I'm turning 20 and I'm so happy. I want to show later my graduation cap. It is inspired by Tangled and it says, "And now my life begins." And it's literally it's I have been thinking about this phase of my life for all of my life. So to be in it and
As every child
to
does.
be yeah. So to be in it and to feel what it feels and to be grateful for where I am mentally and um to understand my capabilities and the potential. Like I always tell my friends about how I just love life force energy and how it at its essence is second chance and decision making and making choices, and I am just so full and filled and satiated with that life force energy, and I feel like that's happening collectively. So I am just super excited for springtime to see some leaves on some trees and to feel that energy of renewal and resurgence and like let's fucking go and let's get this bread. I don't know. Let's get
Right.
this bag.
And another part
But
of the era that I feel like I'm in and a lot of us are in is besides achieving goals, is also trying to be prepared for what's to come. And when I say that, I mean like, all right, for me, one thing that I talked about that Kanisha mentioned from my Instagram, and I think that particular Instagram was at Birdie Buns. I also have another Instagram, which is at Daughter of the Road 83. Check either of them out. But on that Instagram, I talked about just feeling, this in my moods, because I'm a Gemini, we get moody regularly, and I've been getting good at um, not taking on the mood, letting the mood pass through. I know I've talked about that before, but recently, even if I'm in a mood, feeling a little sad, whatever, I've still been getting this aura of positivity that sits in my heart, and it's just like, no, like things are going to be better. Things are getting better. This is going to be great. You're going to be achieving these goals. It's like this just in, and it's weird. And I'm acknowledging it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I know I'm feeling in a mood right now, but there's this other emotion of positivity pushing through that's just kind of not even allowing me to stay in that funk, or not even allowing my head to even accept the possibility that it's going to go bad. And that's even more interesting, that feeling pushing through for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people in these crazy times that we're living in right now, because shit is scary in America, in the world, I know, but it's even especially in America, like I don't even know if there's going to be an America next year. Like I don't know. Are we going to be officially, are we officially a third world country? Are we going to be, is money, can we rely on the banks? It's just like so many things that are disastrous around us, the whole election shit coming up. That's going to be a whole shit show. Um, we got lists, names being dropped on people who did shit. And then, there's this overall wokeness, even though I don't like where that word went, but still it is a overall like awareness of the masses on the bullshit that has been being done to us through media, and the government, and just like how they've tried to control us. Like it's all evident. Everybody's saying it, you see it in movies, you hear it in songs, it's everywhere. People are speaking about it. And the thing is, that's the energy, and that's why the energy is so interesting right now, because we know, as the people, the masses know, the masses are saying it, the masses are complaining, the masses are speaking up, and but yet and still you can get this feeling like, but what can we actually do? Right. So it's like you feel inspired, but you also feel that like you just, there's no way. Like, how are you even gonna, how can we overcome? How can we get past this as a people? So it feels like very uncertain times. So it's interesting to feel a certain certainty within yourself, even though we're living in uncertain times. And that's what's so like interesting to me. And just think about that, and breaking it down. And I attribute that to what I believe is, we're in a time where, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't, all right, I'm gonna say this, but I don't actually mean it like that. Fuck religion, right? But I'm not disrespecting anybody's religion, but I say fuck religion because we in the game now, it's about your spirit. Because in my beliefs, and from what I believe, we are all of one universal spirit. And the spirit is where we come from. We are from one spirit, and we break off into individual people with these fleshy bodies, and then we get individual souls, right? And that's what I feel is that's why we're so collective in a lot of our thoughts and feelings and the vibe right now, right? Because we all are one, whether you want to believe it or not. Like we all are one, and the universal spirit, it's all about spirit right now, and it's about the people who are doing the inner work right now. It's about those people. And I even read something that was like, watch out for your spiritual friends. If they start being more quiet, not giving so much of their energy, it's because we're gearing up for some shit. And I really feel like the spiritual people, the people who are putting in that work, self-assessing, working on themselves daily, be the best person they could be, regardless of what religion. This is not a religion thing. This is a spirit thing. And those people that are doing that work, I feel like they will prosper and they will ascend. And then those that are not, so help you God. But that's what I feel is going on right now. So it's like I'm a little thrilled, I'm a little scared, I'm a little happy, I'm a little excited, I'm a little bit of everything, because like I said, in the midst of uncertainty, for some reason I still feel certainty in positive things to come.
I love that.
I also just
Oh no, you could go ahead, Kayla.
I just wanted to add in about basically responding to what you said about the state of the world. I went to the City of New York Museum, wonderful museum, and there's a Activists of New York exhibit. And in that exhibit, they showcase all of the great activism that we and history of it in New York City. And studying community change and going to that museum by myself, I could really take my time there. There was a film, a documentary called The City of Movement that was playing on the wall. And literally, the guy in an interview was like, they were occupying a space for the homeless. And he was like, we're here. We know it's illegal. That's the point. We do not care. Like, we're going to occupy and we're going to make noise, right? Learning about community change, learning about the power of protest, the power of people and unity and strength and determination, and seeing that represented in this museum. And what I loved about it was in the end of the museum, the back of the exhibit, was the initiatives that are happening right now at this moment. And a man being interviewed was like, now in this incredibly disruptive time when we know the pendulum is swinging and things are changing, is the time to be visionaries and the time to imagine a world for us that we want to live in and start co-creating that with each other, and in at least in our minds of what we imagine a beautiful space of harmony and unity to look like and feel like, as you know, the powers that be sort of shift and change. And that trip itself was so inspiring to me, and seeing that exhibit, I highly recommend it to anyone who is in New York. Is in Harlem, and it is just amazing and beautiful. And just look into the history of New York City. It is the epicenter of people with opinions who share them and want to make change. So, yeah.
That museum sounds really cool. Wow. Well, I think I first start with Kayla. I know you said you're looking forward to spring, but going back to what you said last year in reference to how I think you said you read in a book about like how winter is for rest and hibernation and just like, taking a step back and reassessing things before we spring forward. And so interestingly enough, like when I'm outside, I know there are no leaves or anything of that nature, but I don't know. It's that moody, almost like the fogginess, the dreariness. I don't know, it's just speaking to my soul, I'm about to say my soul. And I'm just like, I'm okay with this time that we're in. There's no leaves. It looks a little dark and a little dreary, but I don't know. It's like I want to just fully immerse myself in this moment and just embrace it and absorb it, and I'm okay with it. And I just feel like it's so magical in like an interesting way, like super magical to me. So, and I definitely have thought about what you said, or it has sprung up in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when Kayla said X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, this is it right now. This is the moment that we're living in, and for us to just really take a moment just to like have a sense of introspection in our lives and things of that nature. And then as far as like what you said, Candice, I'm like, yeah, it is really a spiritual battle. I
So
mean,
warfare happening as above, so below. So that's what's
right.
going
And
on.
that work, it's that inner work. And if you're not working on yourself and your inner core and your soul and your spirit, I don't know, but you're so right about that. It's definitely not about religion. It's really a spiritual warfare. And for people to really take a look and see that it goes beyond like, oh, I'm part of this denomination, that denomination. It's so much deeper than that. And I can only speak on that because I'm doing my own work. I'm like, doing what I need to do personally and trying to be the best version of myself and not like over here, over there. I'm just like, okay, God, just keep me on this path. But of course, if someone needs assistance or help or whatever, allow me to be there for them in whichever way or whichever capacity. But doing the work, and I truly believe that is really, that should really be the case. And I think once people get out of that, because it's kind of like, how people are in what's that, cliques, I'm in this clique and that clique, and just losing the whole purpose of what they're here for. And their whole mission in life, because you're so caught up into this clique, and over here it's so much popular to be a part of this group. And okay, that's good and dandy, but where are they going? What are they doing? And you can't ride on their backs. So you have to do the individual work, you know. And so yeah, I just think that is really key right there, doing the work.
That also
Really.
makes me think of the people who walk around and don't even feel they have purpose. I'm
Yeah.
sure that there are a lot of people that feel like that, or don't even know like what that means when you speak about it, like to have purpose, and that's very sad to me. But
Yeah. Yeah, because once you know your purpose, you just look at life differently. Because
yes,
if you're walking whatever, you're like, oh, I'm just here today, gone tomorrow. Okay. But whether you're here today or tomorrow, there's a purpose that you're here for if you know what it is.
mhm.
And so, yeah. Um, but that's where that work comes into play, right? Because then that's when you're digging deep and finding things out and sitting with yourself and being still and being quiet, those those or should I say, visions will come to pass. You will see clearer, and understand why you're here, and what you need to do while you're here. So
And the reason,
yeah.
Kayla, like that person, whoever you were speaking to, told you guys to like envision things is because it seems like that person understood the power of the mind. And in addition, magnify that with the power of the masses. So, what, like I always say, when you have large masses of people doing the same thing, believing the same thing, basically, you're vibrating on the same type of level or frequency, that creates change. And it's like, I really, really, really wish that people understood that wholeheartedly and would start to live and walk in that, because I feel that so much could be done. Like I've always had this theory, not always, but I've had this theory that I might have mentioned it before, but that if a large majority, because you will never have 100%. So let's just say 80 something percent, a large majority of people all over the world were to organize and just say, no matter what different time zone, whatever time, we are all going to sit with ourselves and meditate, put our minds, like Kayla said, right? Put our minds on this vision or this whatever, that we could actually create change. And as kooky as that seems, I really truly believe in it, you know? And I mean, obviously, the issue with that is organization. Because how do you organize the masses, And that, to me, that's the another issue when it comes to like the government that we have, right? Like a lot of people are not happy with the government, how it's run, how it's functioning, what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. But we also feel that we don't have the control or the power to make any change. And even if there was quote unquote revolution, and say the revolution was violent, say the government was overthrown or whatever in that capacity, then what? Right? Did we organize well enough to have a plan for after that is actually going to be agreed upon by the masses of those people? Then it's like we got the next issue. It's like, how do we get there? I do believe the first step is the inner workings that we have to do within ourselves to even be able to put out a positive energy or focus on a thought, long enough to try to bring it into fruition. I just do believe that that could be possible. I think that anything that involves energy, positive energy, that's vibration, mentally, even spelling, writing, spells, whatever, that anything like that, if it's organized and if it is um done with masses of people, can invoke real change.
Yeah, I think we got a glimpse of that during the pandemic when literally at 7 p.m., every single person I felt like around the world
Uh,
applauded yourself.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Wow, this is what we've been wanting, this
yeah.
sense of unity, sense of togetherness, the sense of hope, and that we're all on one
Mhm,
accord.
mhm.
Like, wow, it felt so liberating. Like, and I'm like, when I heard it, like people just
Yeah,
clapping
like
and
clank, 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 clank. Like you in the jail
like
cell with the cup across the bars. Clank, 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 clank.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then people in some neighborhoods, musicians, they played music and it just gave you hope and peace and just, a sense of okay, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Like you said, in a time of uncertainty, in that moment, you felt a certainty, you
Yeah,
felt that hope, you felt that glim, you saw, okay, that light at the end of the tunnel, and we had a moment and it's just like as far as like where the world is at, I don't know, like traveling to work, honestly, like low key, I'm done with the train. I am like, Lord, people have to give me 50,000 Uber gift cards because it's so wild on the train. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, and I felt like after, now this is the after the pandemic phase now, it's just been a shift in like people's lives. Some have not been given a chance to recuperate,
yeah,
whether mentally and financially. And if they don't have a strong, foundation or they don't have that strong support group around them, people have just gone down. I mean, and down in like a bad way. And unfortunately, a lot of people that have gone down is us, is our own kind. And I'm
mm,
just seeing the floodgates of them more and more. And I'm just like, Lord, when I step through my doors, I'm like, okay, God, thank you that I have a roof over my head. Is that simple? Because what I see in the street is it's just heartbreaking. And when I see our own people, it's like slavery in a modernized world, so to speak, or in this era that we're
modern
in.
day. Yeah.
I'm
Mm.
just like, oh man, it just breaks my heart. I'm just like, Lord, this is just insane, And like you said about third world country, I'm just like, daggone it. You go in the supermarket, you're like, oh, I don't know. You have to pick and choose what to get, And it's just like it's insane. And then depends on whichever neighborhood, people are like, well, my rent is high, so now the milk is $8. I'm being probably like extra, but it's just insane with
Yeah.
these price points I have. I'm just like, milk should not cost that much. Bread, $7, $8. I'm just like, what the heck? Like I'm low key. I'm like, I need to be on a farm to grow my own fruits, vegetables, and figure out how to bake my own bread
And that's a
because
part of the preparation that I was talking about, besides like equipment or, material things, it's
yeah,
also being prepared to have to take care of ourselves from the land.
I,
And I don't know shit about that. I ain't gonna hold you, so I better get up on it, okay?
I
Seriously.
am. I came across this lady yesterday, and she showed how to make your own vanilla extract. I'm going to make. I think I'll make like 12 bottles. She could give it as a gift, but I won't wait till the holidays because she said it would curate from 6 months to a year for it to really ferment. But I'm like, I'm gonna try it because they sell these imitation vanilla extract in the supermarket. I don't know what the heck they put in there. So she showed and she gave the list and I DM her. She told me exactly this Caucasian lady and they be knowing. And so yes, I was like, yes, please send me the information. And she was very sweet about it. So I'll be making, fingers crossed, my own vanilla extract. And next thing I want to try to learn is to make my own bread. And then there's a way to do an indoor garden. I mean, that's going to take some preparation, but listen, we definitely have to figure out like those basic skill sets of life. Probably have to learn how to sew your own clothes. Remember, like home economics class back in the days?
Yeah.
Those are crucial. Like, listen, you know how to do that, you're winning.
Yeah, me and my instant sweater. I can't sew, but
There's a way to sew without sewing. They have what is it? Fabric tape, and you can just like, or even knitting, like cut out whatever pattern and just knit away. You don't have to be perfect. I mean, fashion these days are like everything goes really and truly. Is like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I made it. Okay, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm seeing it differently now, or whatever the case might be. But I've never thought about wearing it like that or doing it like that. Like this lady had a whole jeans as a shirt. I was like, oh, I mean, the crotch at my neck. I'm trying to figure out how.
How do I feel about that? Is this
I
innovative or is this just some other shit? I don't know. You
But
gotta
I'm
decide sometimes.
like, right, yeah. I'm like, listen, put a whole sheet over your head and they put a belt around you, and it's a whole vibe. I'm like, listen,
Oh,
well, cut it out. Don't look like we know, but make a halo, put your head over it, and belt
I
it
wanted
out.
to
Uh-huh.
sorry. I was listening to you talk about the fashion. I'm like, upcycling is definitely the go-to nowadays. But I wanted to bring up a strong point you made earlier about purpose and how all of these things, all of the preparation and the walking in the energy comes with identifying your purpose. And I think the first step for someone, because I immediately think of like, how does someone go about finding their purpose or understanding the purpose of having a purpose in life? And I think that identifying that you as a human being are worthy and worthwhile is the first step of understanding and even getting to what you're going to do with your life or what your purpose is. I think that people in my generation really need to gain the identity of being worth it as a human, just existing, and then going to look for what it is that is their natural instinct to do and create. There's a lot of philosophers that talk about how the creation in general is just the purpose of existence. And as someone who is curious about their own purpose, I definitely recommend looking into Ikigai. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but in my education, and I'm glad that it is because it's a Japanese concept that really maps out how you can understand and fulfill a purpose. There's also just so much freedoms from knowing, especially if you're in my generation and you have things to be grateful for, like you haven't been on this planet very long and you're not super jaded as to everything that's going on around you, even though we are very jaded. But acknowledging the amount of time we've had on this earth so far, there's a lot to be grateful for in your life. And when you acknowledge that and you acknowledge that you are worth those things and you are deserving of simplicity and of ease, and that it is the systems that have failed you and not you or your family that has failed you. And when you understand that, then, and I mean understand that, I mean accept it. It comes with mercy, it comes with forgiveness, it comes with grace, and exercising those things and understanding that you are, like my mom was talking about earlier, you are one piece of a whole. And regardless of what that means for you. I mean, you can do research on hustle culture and like grind culture, and it will still be representative of things that other people are learning in religious spaces and in more spiritual spaces. It doesn't have to be this whole woo-woo concept. And I feel like now more than ever, due to social media, everyone has their pocket that is safe for them to understand what these things mean and what collectively we are saying that we all matter and we're all worthwhile, and accepting that is the first way to go, okay, I matter, I can do this, and I am able to, it fills your cup, it really does. And it is a battle to accept that you're worth it, and I understand that a lot of the rhetoric online is either helpful or unhelpful. It's a lot of scales, but for me, what has worked was just like fine tuning my feed to things that are gonna nurture my soul. You think about what you're consuming, think about what you're consuming and what is on your feed and what you're saying daily and what you're thinking, and bringing that worthiness of yourself, like even when, because I know productive culture was super high at some point, we're all in our working girl era, right, our working man era, whatever, so it was very um do, and that also comes from a system. And it's also, you have to think about the natural state. I am very spiteful when it comes to the world and the government. If I'm freaking out about something, I'm always thinking, okay, how did my ancestors deal with this? Did they have to deal with this? What was going on? How am I supposed to be living? When I say supposed to be, I mean in the dream la la land that I live in my head, that should be reality. How would I be acting right now? Would I be freaking out about this thing? No. I would be worried about nurturing my relationships, nurturing myself, and creating what I wanted to create. That's the three pillars, basically. I just thought about that at the top of my head, but it's just about like what is natural and what is unnatural. And think about like the mind game. Like, we have the beauty of social media. We get to be in these pockets and see. Think about borrowing your friend's phone and how that's a whole different world if you like enter their social media and their apps, because it's all individualized. But because of that, it shows all of these separate parts of the same thing. So I think that just find your pocket and live in that, and grow from that, and understand that you're worth it. I think that's the basis of us coming together, is leading by example and feeling as if we have a team behind us, and not as if we're individuals, because being individual has been so pushed, and it comes with the good and bad, so we all need that balance.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, as you're saying, the more people of all ages understand, and the faster they understand that we are all one, and no matter how good you're doing in life, when you walk past that homeless person, you still ain't good because there's another person that is not doing well. Like, nobody's good when one person is not good. And even though then it's like we broke it down. So it's like, well, it's not me, it's not my family, not my kids, not my this, my that. Yeah, that's all good and well. But that kid that goes to school with your kid, that's not your kid, could still affect your kid. And then when they affect your kid or they start to influence your kid, then your kid is bringing that into your home. So guess what? That other kid does matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to get back to that type of mind frame. Like, there used to be that type of mind frame where it was more community, and the whole it takes a village to raise a child. Anybody see you outside and they can talk to your kid, and you might get some licks from the neighbor, and then you go home, you get more licks, and that's all right because you deserved it. and yet that mother wasn't going to curse out that other mother for reprimanding their kid. It's like this fine line between things. I get it, but we just completely lost that. We just completely lost this sense of community. And that's another reason that I love, like, the principles, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, that shouldn't even just be for Kwanzaa. These principles are an embodiment of the way in which we should live our lives regularly. Um, these are things that we really, the quicker we learn it and understand it, the better all of our lives will be. Because what we will be trying to do is, while we're bettering ourselves, we will be trying to pull the next man and woman up with us, because that's what has to happen. Not to say, yeah, every single person on the earth, like, I'm not being utopianistic in that sense, but, like, generally speaking, yeah, that's really the vibe that we need to be on, to get our souls in alignment and ready for the next stage.
For
But I
sure. Definitely.
for you
I
to, like,
mean,
hear deep thought.
no, because I'm like thinking about like what you said, Kayla, because as soon as you said one word, instantly I thought about just really purging the things that are not aligning with the direction that you're going in life, and whether it's social or whatever the case might be, but social came to mind because, it's like, why are you following a feed that's not feeding your soul, that's not feeding your spirit? You go on there and something inside of you just twitch, you're like, oh, either whatever is like, oh, I wish my life was like that. Nope, I'm good where I'm at. I just want to be the best version in my life, or make my life as best as possible, and not look at anyone else's life. If I'm looking at your life, is to inspire me to better myself. And what you are putting out, the hopes is that it will uplift my spirit. Like when I came across that lady's feed, she is literally making everything from scratch. I'm like, that spoke to me, because I'm like, I want to learn how to do that stuff. And yes, her feed is beautiful, but all I focused on was the fact that she can teach me something that I want to get better in, which is like learning how to make things from scratch. And I'm like, I instantly, like, not instantly right away. I watch a couple of her reels and things of that nature. I'm like, oh yeah, this is someone I need to follow, because this is the path I'm trying to go on. And it definitely fed and spoke to me. And I was like, that was so good. And yeah, I just feel like the goal is to align ourselves with the things that are gonna like help us and propel us along. And like you said, Candace, for real, like that sense of community. I'm definitely grateful for the neighborhood I live in. We've been here like what, 8 years, give or take. And I feel good to know, like, if Amella's walking outside, or if someone sees Anna, that I've built enough friendships around that they look out, or whatever the case might be. Or if I see someone's child, like one morning I saw someone's child walking by herself, and I was like, "You walking to school by yourself?" I was like, "Be careful." And like I instantly said a prayer, like, God protect her, cover her. And I kind of wanted to like just follow her along, but I had to go to work, so I was like, I hope she'd be okay, which she was. But here I am looking out for her child, even though she don't know it, but like you said, that's the, time that we were in, and we need to get back to that time. Like when you said what you said about alone, I'm like, okay, how can I assist Candace and give her some time by herself? That sense of community. Yes, you're in Brooklyn, I'm in Queens, but so what, how can I aid and be a service to you? Because we all definitely need that time to like just even mentally declutter our state of mind, purge any and everything that needs to, be out, so we can have a clearer perspective on what we need to do. So yeah, that sense of community is like, if not for nothing, we held on to that back in the days, because that was something that just like propelled us along, whether it was like bartering system. Oh, Billy Bob down the road know how to do this, he could fix my roof, or so and so has a great garden, she could give me some like tomatoes or potatoes or whatever the case might be. Like they helped each other. It wasn't a competition, it was like a sense of togetherness and upliftment and encouragement, um, and unity. So it'll be really great to get back to that. But if we could create that sense of utopian society, I'm okay with that. I would just need to move to an island somewhere, different country though, to start that?
I've
Because I
been
don't know.
hearing that Ireland, I've heard Ireland is one of top whatever, maybe top three, like of the countries that has like the kindest people. Really?
Oh, really?
Kindest people, yeah. And I saw it was something on maybe Instagram or something. I saw a video I saw, and it was a black dude. He was standing out there. He was like, one of the best places to visit, Ireland. He said, everybody care about you. He said, everybody cares about your well-being. I was like, really? Because what's interesting is me as a black woman, whenever I hear of uh people talking about other countries and how if they like other countries, I always think, well, how do they treat black people? Like how
Right.
much racism. That's the first thing come to mind. How much racism is there? How do they display it? How to because we live in New York, which yes, it exists everywhere, but you ain't gonna see nobody getting lynched outside. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna see a rope hanging from a tree. So it's like I just want to know what I'm walking into before I visit any other country, thinking that it's gonna be all good and oh, but you're not kind to me. Oh, okay. But it was like refreshing to hear that from that man. I was like, all right, Ireland, that's a place I would never even think to go. But from hearing that and and understanding what we're living in these times, it's like I'm really looking for other places now. Like, and I talked to Kayla about this the other day. Like, I never considered moving or living anywhere else but here. And at this point, I'm definitely like considering it. And yeah, that's a part of the preparation. Where we gonna go? When shit hits the fan.
I've always wanted to go to Ireland. Ireland is bomb.
Really?
Yeah. I was always joking with Lewis about us running away there. It's amazing. And the school system, the education system is beautiful.
It's just lush and the greenery, like, oh my world, is just, it's like, I don't know, like a Hallmark card captured. You just like, keep it close to your heart. But I took like a couple trips upstate, and let me tell you, when I came back to New York City, I'm like, Jesus, I can't deal.
You gotta take me. You gotta take me next time.
I do. Okay, okay. I like, was it you that said it, Candace? There's no, or was it my girlfriend? She's like, there's no, like we said, on one day's on a part of the week. Like, no, let's pick a day, let's make it happen, because just traffic. It's like, wait a second, where's the next car? No car inside. I mean, you're gonna come across a car, but it's just the air is different. I mean, I'm like, Lord, I can vibe out here. I mean, I can definitely do this. The kids are like, oh no, this is but when I came back down to New York City, I was like, the congestion and the honking and the stuff on, it's like the streets are not clean, and it's like you're stuck in traffic, and you just feel like all the energy, everyone is angry and frustrated and just like done with life. And upstate is like airy and free flowing and just, now granted it's a different vibe because if you don't have a purpose you might fall into some things for
Yes.
sure. For
Mhm.
sure. So, you really have to really think about it and make a good plan and see if it will work for you, but you definitely have to know your purpose, because up there you could be like, oh my gosh, like this is not for me eventually, because it might get too quiet and things shut down earlier.
Yeah,
And you're
that's
like,
me. See, that's been me. That's why I never even considered moving anywhere else because even other cities are not cities like New York City, So I'd be like, listen, I can't, I need a store, I need a corner store, I need a Lucy spot, I need I need some, I need a little bit of hood shit, and
well, probably
and availability.
where you move, probably you could bring that element. You could open that business.
Lucy spot? No, that's illegal. I'll be getting
Well,
locked
well,
up.
that aspect, but just a store with all the other
I
essential
just want
things.
access to shit whenever I want.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, the malls are different up there. I was like, oh, this is the mall? Okay. But let me tell you, the people are very friendly. Like I had a whole conversation with this cashier. I could have sat there and talked with her forever. She's just like, hello, and going on and on. And she was a young girl, just so up, upbeat and very like vigilant and excited and just perky and like you're like, am I on Truman Show or something? Like, is this happening? Like she was just like, and then the people in the lines are like, okay, let me stop talking because I don't want anyone to get upset. But no one was complaining or saying like, oh my gosh, would they hurry up? It was none of that stuff. Everybody was a patient and just chilled. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, let's hope for the best for New York City because
For the
it
best
needs.
for all of us.
Uh,
So, 2024, let's start to wrap up. Let's give our takeaways, I guess. Should we do takeaways or should we do like, well, we didn't do we're not doing resolutions, right? Maybe we give one goal that we want to achieve this year. Okay.
okay.
And then Kanisha's gonna do a toast with us. We're gonna
Okay.
do it for the New Year's. All right. So, one goal that I want to achieve this year, and let me think, and then within that, let me think about what's actually attainable, right? Like seriously, what I actually can completely do. I have so many goals, and then I'd be like making up another goal come. Oh, I just had this thought. Oh, I thought about that shit. I gotta put shit on the back burner because I'm getting backed up. All right. One goal that I want to definitely achieve and will achieve this year is, and it's simple. Taking back my time, taking back time for myself within a day to just be me by myself, be silly, write, read, do videos, whatever the hell I want to do in my alone, stare at myself in the mirror, because these are things that I used to do. And that in those times I was able to, like, I produced so much things creatively from that freedom. And I just want to get back to that because, as you get older and you have more responsibilities, life happens and you have to focus on the money, focus on the bag, right? And I have focused on the bag and I focused on the degrees. And now I want to get back to spirit and I want to get back to the freedom that I used to have, which allowed me to just be like my goal is to just be a lot more than I've been able to do in these past years. So that's my goal. Who next?
Oh,
The next. Okay. Um, I'd say that I have a lot of strategic goals that I don't want to share, but my goal to is like a word, and that's just build and be all the B words. I
Build
just
and be?
really build and be. And I guess being, it would be just expression. Um, this year is going to be a really big year. I'm saying it out loud because I just know it, and I'm just excited. So,
Tanisha.
the first thing that popped in my head was to learn to drive.
Hmm.
I think because of that road trip upstate, I was like, "Oh Lord, you need to learn how to drive up there, or else you can't get around. No how."
Oh, yeah, very true.
So I was like, "Oh, I feel like mentally I can drive, But we all know we gotta take lessons and all that and so
Yeah, that
forth. So,
yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna say that's funny because I was with a friend of mine recently in the car and she's pregnant and she was like, oh well you can't take over. I'm like, I'm sure if shit hit the fan, I'd know what to do. Like you turn the fucking key, you put the fucking stick on D, right? There's a gas, there's a brake. I'm like, I've seen it enough. I'm sure that shit'll kick in if we really needed to get the fuck out of Dodge or some shit like that. I know the basic shit. I'll figure that shit out in the midst of it. What? No, okay, I'll figure that shit out. We be all right, like. But
but that's how some people have learned to drive during a state of catastrophe or disaster. They're like, how the heck do I do this? Well, I'm gonna figure it out right
you
now.
put that shit
So
in park first. It's on P first. Hit I mean, I hope I'm right. I don't know. I'm just. It sounds like that's how you're supposed to do it.
it's unofficial to me. My aunt got so frustrated one day because she relied on her husband at the time to get her around. And so I think he wasn't around the time and she had to go somewhere and they lived in Long Island. She's like, and the car is parked, right? But because she didn't know how to drive or anything of that nature, she didn't. But that day she did. I don't think she had lessons under her belt, but she put the key, like you said, in the engine, turned it, and next thing you know, she is driving away. Next thing you know, she is driving away. So that's why I said mentally, I feel like I can do the same, but nonetheless, have to take lessons. I,
I know. Feel all that pressure and shit. All that shit. I know.
um, I wanted to say this though. With knowing your purpose, sometimes I feel like you might feel a sense of pressure and a sense of like a huge responsibility because you're like, once you know your purpose, I don't know, you just feel like this huge obligation. But in retrospect, I feel like initially it might feel that way, but once it's you sit with it and digest it, it don't become that because you're just really walking into what you're supposed to be anyway. But on first thought, like first thought, you might feel like, oh, this is too much. I can't do it. I don't want to know my purposes. It's too scary. So I just want to like get that out. But yeah, I want to know how to drive and continue working on my purpose since I brought that point up. Um, and I'm grateful to God that I figured that out. It's very simple, and I'm like, it can't be that simple, God, is it? But when I look at the things that I've done, I was like, yeah, I feel like that's who I am. And even acknowledging that, you're like, but I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's who I am. I feel like it comes naturally. I would do it and not think twice about it. And so I was like, thank you, God, for clearing it, clarifying it, I should say. So yeah, just continue to work in my purpose and drive, driving my purpose too.
Right. Driving towards utopia. Let's go. Pick us up. Pick us up.
I can go pick up Serenity, be like, let's go.
Where we going? To utopia. Get in. Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
All
Yeah.
right.
So
I got my glass ready, my cup.
like down.
Cheers.
Pinkies up. Cheers to 2024.
2024.
Yay. Love you guys.
Love you too, ladies. We got this. Great year ahead. We will keep pushing forward. This was great. I loved it. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, click the damn button, y'all. Because a lot of y'all be watching, you like it. Click subscribe. You don't gotta pay. There's no payment. We ain't there yet. All right. So just press subscribe. Thank you.
Yeah. And share the videos.
That too. Yes. Share.
Shout us out, tag us, let us know what you think and how you feel about it. Please, we appreciate all the love and support.
Thank you. Come again.
Bye.
Bye.